Peace, peace. It's your girl. Peace. All right. Instagram, Facebook, we all good. Peace, peace. It's your girl, Morgan Renee Myers, tuning in with you all for another reading of Feeding the Soul by Tabitha Brown. I'm just going to hop right into it. We're reading 2 chapters at a time so we can get through this book. We are currently in chapter 21 and 22. If you need to catch the replay and you're not following my Instagram at storytime_with_Moremy, spelled Moremy, then you can go to my YouTube channel, Morgan Myers, spelled just like it is here on Facebook, MorganMyers, and you can find the playback of these. So, as stated, we're going to hop right into it. Chapter 21 is entitled, Take Your Hands Off, Let It Go. It starts off with a quote by Shannon L. Alder that reads, "You always had it in you to create miracles, but you forgot that it required you to do the opposite of what you are doing now. There are some things in our lives we just spend too much time on. It's time to let it go. I don't care what it is. If you're stressing over it, then you probably need to be still for a pair of seconds and maybe even part ways with it. You've been praying and worrying all at the same time, and that doesn't make much sense, does it? You spent time on a situation that probably won't matter in the long run. All right? Very good. And here's the thing about time. It will not wait for you. You only have 24 hours in a day, 7 days in a week, and 365 days in a year. All the time you spent worrying about something you have no control over could have been spent working towards your dream. If the situation is not serving you, honey, let it go. Whatever they said, they can't take it back and you can't erase it. Don't waste your time on things that aren't serving you. Remember the shedding? Well, this doesn't just apply to people. Yes, if your circle of friends and family are not adding value to your life, it is okay to remove yourself from the circle. Ooh, let me go back because I don't think some of us heard that. Ooh, yes, if your circle of friends and family are not adding value to your life, it is okay to remove yourself from the circle. But if that job, that television show, that news feed, or those boots aren't letting you live your best life, then let them go too. Oh, and to be clear, just because you let someone or something go doesn't make you better or worse than that thing or person. It just means that that thing or person isn't serving you the way you need them to, and that's okay. I believe that every person, every place, and every season in our lives has a purpose. I do too. I believe that every person, just like Iyanla Vanzant has a quote that says, some people come in your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. Talk to him, Tab. I believe that every person, every place, and every season in our lives has a purpose. But sometimes we stay too long. And when we stay too long, we end up wasting time that was better spent on the thing God has for us up ahead. I shared with you how there was a whole season of my life when I got caught up in what I saw other folks doing. In trying to pursue my dream, I locked in on the way Hollywood said I needed to look and sound. I wasted a good amount of time trying to adjust how I spoke to people in order to cover my accent. I exhausted myself trying to look like other people. She wore her hair like that. Let me wear my hair like that. My skin is darker. Okay, I need to have this look. Baby, this world will have you twisted and turned inside out to please it, and it's still never satisfied. As far as just be me, child. I ain't got time to be trying to be y'all. What does it mean to look Hollywood anyway? Let me tell you, it's whatever people decide it is. So guess who looks Hollywood now with an afro and a little extra weight on her? Tab. Hollywood isn't itself is a construct. It's something we just made up. Oh, that's Hollywood. Oh, is it? Is it really Hollywood? Or is it just another manufactured image created to appeal to a particular audience? Talk to him, Tab. I work in Hollywood, and I'm the only one walking around looking like me. I prefer it that way. But before, I blew more time trying to be skinny. I worked out to be thin, never to be healthy. And my body eventually let me know just how that was working out for me. Now, don't get me wrong. It's okay to want to look good. But when the external supersedes the internal, you have a problem. When the external supersedes the internal, you have a problem. Getting all these BBLs and all these waist trainers and all these aesthetics to make it Okay, that's great. You can look good and wanna feel, you look good, you feel good. But if you ain't doing that internal work, you ain't doing that shadow work, you ain't looking in the mirror, you ain't journaling, you ain't waking up, stretching, drinking water, going over your goals, um, surrounding yourself with the right people, staying in the right circles, cutting off dead energy, negative energy, getting away from gossip and drama, then baby, all of that means nothing. It's just a facade. It's just a show. It's just to look good when you walk past the mirror, or when you catch yourself in the rearview mirror while you're driving, or somebody else compliments you. It holds a little weight if you're not doing that internal work. Don't let your external. Don't put in more work on that than you do on the inside, because that's what's gonna matter. What's gonna matter in the long run, by how you really feel. All right, Tab, talk to them. So, now, don't get me wrong. It's okay to want to look good, but when the external supersedes the internal, you have a problem. If the only reason you are working out is to look better, that's a problem. Whenever you find yourself focused on things that aren't suited for you, or holding on to things you clearly need to let go, it's time to have an honest conversation with yourself. This is a hard read for me today, y'all, because I've been holding on to some things. I've been doing a lot of deep cleaning too, and downsizing, minimizing. Looking forward to transitioning living styles and situations. I'm really an off-grid liver, y'all. I really love being in nature, living off the land. I already garden and compost and reduce, reuse, recycle. So I'm just really big on the self-sustainability lifestyle. Does it come with its inconveniences? Absolutely. But I wouldn't trade my peace of mind over feeling like I gotta be cramped in the city, eating foods from the store I don't want, or the closest thing, I'm just only eating it out of convenience, not because it's healthy, or you know is the best option for my temple. I want to be somewhere where I have to depend on me and the people I'm around. But that's just me. Okay, so whenever you find yourself focused on things that aren't suited for you, oh, that's what had caught me up. She was like, you need to have an honest conversation with yourself. Whenever you find yourself focused on things that aren't suited for you, or holding on to things you clearly need to let go, it's time to have an honest conversation with yourself. Like, why can't I pack this up? Why can't I throw this out? Or I need to sell this, or I don't really need to hold on to this. So why have I been holding on to so long? Or do something with this because it does mean something to me. Who am I trying to be? Why do I resist being myself? I'm claiming that I'm doing me, but am I really? Love yourself first. Ooh, Tab. Love yourself first. Then you can go out and give other people love. Yes, ma'am. Then you will know how to be loved. That might be why your relationship don't work. Maybe every time you engage with someone, it fails because you don't love yourself. Damn, Tab. She hitting on something today. You can't teach them how to love you because you don't even know what that entails. What does it mean to love you? You might be feeling lonely and praying that God sends you a partner. I love it. Well, the way you get there is learning how to partner with yourself. Be your own lover. Get to know you. Figure out what you love and like. So when somebody comes around and they are potentially that special one, you'll be able to tell them what you need. If somebody asks you, what do you like to do? And your answer is, I don't know. That's your sign. You deserve to know yourself. I just made a post on Facebook the other day based on a quote I heard a friend say. Said, I deserve myself. So, ooh. You deserve to know yourself. You deserve to love on yourself. Take yourself out. If you feel good about being with you, then you can trust that the right person or people will feel good around you. You'll also prevent yourself from falling for some foolishness. When you don't know yourself or what you like, you'll fall for anything. We're not doing that anymore, okay? After you figure out who you are and get those initial answers, I encourage you to bring them back to the source. Talk to God about what you are doing and how you are feeling. I gotta read that over because she was talking to me. Let me go back. Love yourself first. Then you can go out and give other people love. Then you will know how to be loved. That might be why your relationship don't work. Maybe every time you engage with someone, it fails because you don't love yourself. You can't teach them how to love because you don't even know what it entails. What does it mean to love you? You might be feeling lonely and praying that God sends you a partner, a lover. Well, the way you get there is learning how to partner yourself. Be your own lover. Get to know you. Figure out what you love and like. So when somebody comes around and they are potentially that special one, you'll be able to tell them what you need. If someone asks you, what do you like to do? And your answer is, I don't know. That's your sign. You deserve to know yourself. You deserve to love on yourself. Take yourself out. If you feel good about being with you, then you can trust that the right person or people will feel good around you. You'll also prevent yourself from failing for some foolishness. When you don't know yourself or what you like, you'll fall for anything. We're not doing that anymore, okay? After you figure out who you are and get those initial answers, I encourage you to bring them right back to the source. Talk to God about what you are doing and how you are feeling. When I got sick, I realized I was truly tired of doing it my way. Once I surrendered my life, I had to figure out who Tabitha was again. If you feel like you don't know yourself, let's start getting to know you today. I want you to ask yourself a few more questions. Who am I? What do I like? What do I love? What do I really want? What do I need? Who did God intend me to be? Now, this may take you some time to discover, but we're not rushing, right? Once you know who you are and what you want, you can let go of all that other stuff and move forward. And the beauty of it all is you'll probably end up someplace way better than you could have ever imagined. The dreams I had for myself, honey, could have never added up to the dream God had for me. This life God has given me is far better than anything I could have ever conjured up myself. A few years ago, I was a judge at a vegan chili cook-off. They asked all the judges to introduce ourselves and share how long we've been a vegan. When they got to me, I realized that I'd been a vegan for just under a year. There I was, a vegan festival judge, and I hadn't even been a vegan for long at all. Since then, I've been on panels with doctors and nutritionists. I've also been the keynote speaker, all because of my journey. It's amazing how quick things can change in your life when you decide to embrace who you are and just let that other stuff go. There's something that's so awesome about submitting your will to the Spirit and letting God guide your life. You're likely to find yourself in places and doing things you could have never imagined before. When I started doing the vegan videos, all I had was my word from God. I didn't think anyone was really going to watch. It was just important for me to release all the things I'd allowed to hold me back and be obedient. The Spirit said, do videos. Tab did videos. The Spirit said, tell people what and how I ate once I went vegan. Tab told y'all what and how I ate. And when I talk about my life changing, I'm not just talking about my status. It's great that people support me and love me. I'm certainly not complaining about that. But that's just a bonus. The most important thing is that my heart has changed. By letting go of all that stuff that was holding me back and being obedient to the assignment God gave me, I not only received better health, but a better heart. My mind was clear, and I became even more open to the possibilities. I was definitely a loving person before, but now I'm just open to love in different ways. In a different way. I know that I can do more for people in this state than I ever could before. Ooh, that's a lesson that I'm learning, that I got to look out for Morgan. Okay? I got to look out for me before I can do a lot for everybody else. I do a lot for others, for the community, and part of that is probably rooted in some type of childhood trauma, trying to always supersede or be helpful, and my feminine nature of being nurturing, yada, yada, yada. But baby, 32 is upon me. Come December, I'm focusing on me. I got stuff I got to tighten up, get together, adult shit, life shit. So yeah, but I feel what she's saying. Like when she got to that place of understanding, being able to let go, now her income has raised, the caliber of things that she's able to do, she can better assist people at the state that she's in now, where her mental health and her pockets is different. Couldn't really do that when you down there with everybody else, trying to struggle and I feel you, Tab. So I was definitely a loving person before, but now I'm just open to loving a different way. I know what I can do. I can do more for people in this state than I ever could before. So yes, I might sound like a broken record, but that's my business. I need you to know that whatever it is you want to do, whatever you've been thinking about, whatever is nudging your spirit, if you can't seem to shake it, dive into that thing, figure that thing out, because there's a calling in your life, and an assignment. If all you ever do is look at it but never fully embrace it, then it's never going to come to pass. Talk to me, Tab. I'm getting to it. Honey, I'm of the belief that if you think about something related to a dream or vision more than twice a day, you're probably supposed to do something with it. So, baby, it is time to move forward with that thing. Let that other stuff go. Let that fear and anxiety go. You're going to, yes, you're going to have folks discourage you. They may say, girl, you can't do that, or man, you crazy. Let them say what they want. Even if they are family and friends, let them talk. You figure that thing out, because life is too short. Do you want to die with that thing left inside you? Of course you don't. I know it's scary, okay? Some of that fear has to do with our need to be in control. We think we know what's best for us, but sometimes we have to step back and say, God, I trust you. I'm scared, but I'm trusting you. Some of the biggest moves you're ever going to make are the ones that scare you while you're making them. Even if your legs are trembling and your hands are shaking, keep going. I promise you, baby, there is light on the other side. You woke up today, right? Touch your heart right now. Is it beating? Of course it is. God meant for you to be here today. We are burying people every day. Folks are leaving here. I honestly believe that no matter how young or old a person is, when they leave this earth, their work is done. Sometimes I don't feel that. I feel like they have more to do, damn. I feel like they have more. Every day we wake up means we still have work to do. You're still here, baby. So what are we going to do with that? Sometimes we get so fixated on a situation or a particular outcome that we can't even pay attention to everything else in our lives that needs tending to. Our inability to let our hurts and worries go will blind us to the good that's all around us on a daily basis. Check yourself, all right? You know Tab loves a mirror. We have to be willing to look at ourselves. Get in your mirror and have a conversation with yourself. Ask, what are you worried about? Why are you letting these people have so much power over your life and your mind? Who are you mad at? I was just telling somebody last night about mirror work and how it really can help bring some stuff out of you you don't even know. You get to staring at yourself in the mirror for a long period of time and thoughts just come into your head almost unexpectedly. Or you'll start to see, your parents or your ancestors, and you might even just see to the center of you, and you might feel some things, sadness, grief, guilt, whatever. You can feel positive things. It's all in your experience, but I do think a lot of us need to take a look in the mirror a little more often. She said, ask yourself in the mirror, what are you worried about? Why are you letting these people have so much power over your life and mind? Who are you mad at? Here's what I encourage you to do. Let all of that noise in your mind. Let go of all of that noise in your mind and heart. Embrace the fact that you have a purpose on this earth, and it's time for you to figure it out and fulfill it. You've got somebody's life to change, starting with your own. I know life can be bittersweet. We all go through stuff. We are all fighting battles, seen and unseen. But let's not let the struggle win. Let the struggle go. At least you'll be able to say, man, I went down swinging. I went down fighting. Honey, I was trying. It's time to let it go. Let's throw away all that's worn out and old, all our old ways, all the things we used to do that didn't serve our purpose, all the things that were norm but have never evolved. It's time to live our best lives. Having lived through a pandemic, we know better than most that tomorrow is not promised. But forget tomorrow. The next minute isn't promised. Let's choose joy and love. Let's choose peace. And then once we've got it for ourselves, let's spread it around. So let go of trying to fit in. Let go of trying to please other people over yourself. You are an original creation. It's okay to be whoever God created you to be. There's nothing better than originality. When I let go of the old Tab, a weight was lifted. I thought, you mean to tell me all these years I was trying to fit in, trying to look and talk and be like other people, I was keeping myself from being free? Yep. It's so hard wearing that mask. It's hard putting on that let me be somebody else suit every day. I know, honey. You feel like you have to put on the other voice when you go to work. You must pull out all your work. You must pull out your work voice when you're talking to your supervisor. What is that? No, whatever your voice is, it's good enough. I know what society says. I know what the culture demands. But at what point are we going to get off that ride? It's exhausting trying to be somebody else every day. So let us acknowledge that our true self is enough and stop it. You'll probably be more productive that way, and you'll probably feel free. Freedom is doing whatever you feel naturally and being okay with it. It is simply saying that I've been writing what I've been writing about this whole time. I am enough. Baby, let that stuff go. All right. Then figure out who you are. Spend some time getting to know you. Find out what you do and don't like, what you do and don't want. What does freedom from other people's opinions and judgments even feel like for you? Get back to you so you can get to what God has for you. Good word, Tab. Then she ends it with a TSA, which is her Tab serve announcement. It says, do you know that you can be influenced to do great things? Yes. Do you also know that you can be influenced to do some not so great things? Yes. As an influencer, I know how easy it is for people to get so caught up in what they see Tab do that they forget they too have something to offer the world. Let me share this with you. You can have some amazing mentors in your life. You can follow all the awesome influencers out there, and they can certainly offer you guidance and inspiration in your decision making and ideas. But you should never allow a person to influence you so much that you lose yourself in the process. Influence is just that, influence. It does not mean you have to be that person. It does not mean you have to do exactly what they've done. Your journey is unique to you. And that's the end of chapter 21. I am going to read chapter 22, but I'm going to pause right there because, yes, if you've logged onto this live or these readings before, you've heard me say that Sister Tab and I have a lot of similarities. We're both from the same area. She's from Eden, North Carolina, spent some time in Greensboro working. I'm from Greensboro, North Carolina. We're both actresses. She's vegan. I call myself plant-based. I'm still getting it. That damn dairy be hanging me up from time to time. Excuse me. Yeah, so we got a lot of backstory. I do a lot of my community. I'm well known within the Greensboro community. And so sometimes it's to a point where like I have influence over certain people, and people be fangirling me. I ain't gonna hold you. And sometimes it be a lot to take in because it's like I'm just a regular person, but I see because I respect her, but I don't fangirl nobody. Like I had the opportunity to meet her over the weekend, and I missed it. Like 2 weekends ago, and I missed it. I was like, dang. I was like, but I know in divine time it'll align. But I have made contact with her. She's gotten some crochet earrings that I made before. We've inboxed a few times. She's seen some of these videos before and commented. So I'm just keeping the energy there. But although she's awesome, and I'm very inspired by what she's doing, she has a cooking TV show now. She's been acting in some shows. She got a seasoning brand. She got Donna's recipe for her afro hairline. Like, I'm so inspired, but I would never get caught up in just following Tab's every move. Like, I don't even see all her posts and videos and stuff. She's amazing. And I've seen some of her former journey before she blew up. But I can never get away from myself trying to emulate her just because we have so many similarities. I don't want to be Tab, but I love Tab for who she is. And so that's just an example of how everybody else got to move. Some people be just so flabbergasted by my gardening skills or my crochet or more you do this, you do that. These are just the gifts and talents God has given me. And I'm not saying that to brag or boast or even be egotistical. I'm just grateful and I'm thankful and I'm tapping into what the Creator has given me. So what are those things that are within you that you guys need to be tapping into and utilizing? Maybe gardening and watching children and cooking. Maybe none of that is your thing. Albeit you may be inspired and love what I got going on and support me. I appreciate that. But maybe you're really good at gathering people for functions, or maybe you're really great at decorating, and everything don't necessarily have to be turned into a business, but if it can, why not? Or if this is a service you could provide, or some way that you can help other people, whatever it is that's going to bring you freedom and joy and make you feel fulfilled, because life is way more than just waking up, going to work, paying some bills, and trying to get some good to eat or vacation every now and then. That's not the totality of what life is, okay? Not at all. So I'm going to move into the next chapter, chapter 22, which is entitled More Than One Route to a Destination. It starts off with a quote by Susan S. Taylor that says, "Whatever we believe about ourselves and our ability comes true for us." I'm just going to get straight to the point. Stop letting people convince you that the way you are doing something is wrong just because they did it another way. Talk to them, Tab. There are multiple routes to any destination. We are all different. We've lived different lives and seen different things. You might iron your shirt one way and somebody else might do it another way. Guess what? You'll both end up with an iron shirt, yes? If I take the freeway downtown and somebody else takes the surface street, we will still end up in the same place. So if I have to say it a million times, I will. Don't buy into the whole, I have to talk this way, look this way, dress this way, read this book, watch this show foolishness. No, you don't. Find your lane, baby. I've seen highways with 6, sometimes 8 lanes. If everyone is going the same way, then everyone is going to pick a lane and ride in it. Yes, depending on the lane chosen, some folks are going to get there a little bit quicker, and some are going to take their time. But we're all on the same road. You don't have to do everything just like somebody else to be successful. Figure out your own way and be all right with getting off on a different exit. Your exit. Don't watch other people and think that if you don't do it exactly like them, you're somehow failing. You're not. The failure isn't trying to do something like someone else. Being your true, authentic self is the best way to win. There are so many ways to do things. We've talked about tradition, and I know that some of us are still hung up on that. What we often don't consider is that at one point in time, that tradition, that way of doing things was new too. Whoever created the traditional way of doing fill in the blank was an innovator. So what's stopping you from innovating too? Create your own path. Do you. Not everybody is going to like it, but that's not your business. My husband and I lived together before we got married. Where we're from, Eden, North Carolina, that's considered a no-no by the church folk. Y'all shacking up? Oh, the Lord ain't pleased. But let's be clear, God still honors my marriage. God still honors good hearts and the good things people do in the world, whether they align with tradition or not. When I arrived in LA, I was told that Hollywood would not take you seriously if you started doing YouTube videos. Social media wasn't a thing yet, so back then they didn't understand or respect the reach of those they later called influencers. And what was part of my resistance to doing videos? Excuse me. Oh, have mercy. I was sick on like Monday night, Tuesday, so I still got a little extra phlegm in me. But I am well. Amen and ashe. So basically, okay, YouTube wasn't as popping back then. So social media wasn't a thing yet. So back then they didn't understand or respect the reach of those later they called influencers. And that was part of my resistance to doing videos. Now, what if, knowing full well what God told me to do, I had decided not to do the videos? Where would I be now? I had, all because somebody told me it wasn't the best route to becoming an actress. Well, honey, you probably wouldn't be reading this book. So I'm a witness to the fact that you don't have to do everything the same. In fact, you might be the only one who creates a new blueprint in your field or your family. But you'll never know that if you keep trying to do it the same way everybody has done it in the past. Don't you know that it's your, excuse me, don't you know that it's your freedom to do something your way? Thank God for being different. Thank God your creative mind will allow you to explore and do things differently. Thank God you don't have to be one of those people who remain stuck in one way of doing things their entire life. You don't want to be one of those people. You deserve more than that. I encourage you to do whatever that thing is you've been thinking about, even if you have an idea to do it differently. Create a new path and a new way, because that's freedom and because it's your business. Okay, so that's it. She leaves us with a little recipe for a smoothie bowl. Smoothie bowls have been my favorite thing since moving to California. It was never something we had growing up down south. When I discovered them, my first was an Aiki bowl. I was like, oh, I didn't know how to make an Aiki bowl, but I know how to make a smoothie and put the same toppings on. It's such a fun little treat you can eat somewhere outside or even just a different place in your house. And just makes you feel like you're somewhere, even though you ain't. Let's make a smoothie bowl, all right? So she got almond milk, a banana, some frozen blueberries, strawberries, peaches, and mango. Oh my, sometimes they come in a blend. Shredded coconut, ground flaxseed, fresh strawberries, chopped pecans, and maple syrup. So you put the almond milk, banana, and frozen fruit in your blender and let us do its thing. Pour your berry mix into a bowl. Add some shredded coconut, then a bit of ground flaxseed, because that's your business. Add some fresh cut strawberries, some chopped pecans, a little more coconut if that's what you like. I don't like coconut, so I wouldn't. Add some pure maple syrup on top. My God, do you see what we've done? Now, this is the part of the recipe that might be a little different than you're used to. You must take the smoothie bowl, hold it tight in your hands, and go eat it outside. Yes, you read that right. Yes, that's part of the recipe. Go on outside if you can, or go on head over to the cutest place in your house, honey. Laugh a little bit. Have a little sassy attitude about yourself. Don't you feel good? So that was the ends of chapter 21 and 22 out of Feeding the Soul by Tabitha Brown. This is a great read. I'm loving it. You can follow it on YouTube at Morgan Myers to catch up with it, or on Instagram at storytime_with_Moremy, spelled Moeremy. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I hope you received something from it. And y'all gonna have a good day. And I'll tune in with y'all soon. Peace.